farmers, welcome back to Addota Farm. Lots of people have been coming to my WhatsApp to ask me different questions, and by God's grace we've been providing a solution to some of these questions, and the ones that are yet unanswered, we'll look into that very soon. And don't forget to reach out to us on a Telegram, that is on Addota Farm. You can subscribe as well. There we can have a live chat, so you can subscribe so that we can ask different questions, so we'll provide an answer to that there too. So let's talk about fish today. You know, we've been talking about chicken for a few days now, so I want to talk about fish today. So but before that, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel if you are new here, and click the notification bell to get notified when next we'll drop a new content for you. So let me quickly tell you why your fish die. So that is what we want to discuss today, why your fish die. So when you are raising your catfish, be it the hybrid, the Claras, or any other breed you have, so you want to rear them in a nursery pond before you transfer them to your standard pond, so your standard eating pond. So why do your fish die? Because these are the challenges. So they are the challenges facing most farmers. So some people they don't just get hang of it, and those who are still novice in it, they find it very difficult to maintain the number of fish they keep in their pond, in their nursery pond, while raising. So most of them die. So I want to tell us why those fish, be it your juvenile, your fingerlings, or your fry, so why they die before they reach jumbo size, so before you restock them in a standard pond. So that is what we want to talk on right now. So the number one part of it is inadequate preparation of pond. So if you don't prepare your pond well, so your fish might likely die. There was a man that called me some time ago. He said he just cropped a fish from a pond, and he wants to restock, but he's afraid to stock new fish inside, because the old one, the feces of the old one have already, they are still inside the pond, and the remnants of their feces, all these feces and other things that they carried inside the pond, will actually turn to another thing, maybe ammonia or any other thing that will likely affect the fish, and there might be some algae inside the pond too that might cause problem to your fish as well. So it's asking if there is need to prepare the pond before restocking. So I told him to do so, and he did that, and thank God the man has not been experiencing anything like this. So inadequate preparation of pond is one of the things that cause the reason why your fish die. So even if you are using a concrete pond and you want to raise your fish inside your concrete pond, be it any size, you just have to brush it, you have to wash it. Some use soap, they wash it with soap and they leave it to dry for some time before they fill it with water, and some use salt. So they fill it with they add salt into water, and they use it to wash all the walls and the ground before they stock inside. So you wash, if you are using concrete tank to raise your fish, you wash them clean. You wash it very clean, then you dry it you let it dry. So before you fill it with water, and then you stock your fish. This is just to wash all anything that might affect your fish inside the pond. And if you are using eating nursery pond to raise your fish, the thing you can do is just make sure you tidy up all the surrounding, and you clean your pond. You do the demolding. So they will help you, they will demold it. Usually, any pond you want to use to raise a catfish, they don't usually have ponds, rather mud. So if mud are too much there, it might likely affect your fish as well. So you don't do that. You make sure you prepare the pond. So the number two of it is overfeeding. So if you overfeed your fish, it might likely cause it as well. So when they eat too much, it might likely affect it. So I'm not going to debate much on this because it doesn't affect them much. If you overfeed, it doesn't affect them much, but the main reason why it affects them is if the feed remain on the surface of the water, because if you overfeed, they won't eat everything finished, and the feed, there's no how you want to do, they are not coming back to eat the feed once the feed got mixed with water. So it will dissolve and it will go under the water and turn to anything that might still affect them. So if it's too much, or the water might turn black. So if you overfeed them, so the water might turn black. So that is one of the things that overfeeding causes. So, and if the water turn black, your fish are not strong enough to bear the water, the thickness and the color of the water, so they will die. due to their immune that is not strong, so they would die. So that is one of the things that cause it. So the number 3 part is don't use uncovered pond. If you don't cover your pond, if you don't net it, and you want to raise your fish inside, you might likely lose some of them to all these alligators or any other thing that might just come to pick them. So this is just to avoid them. So there are some birds, some vultures, or any other birds that might come from the surface of the sky to pick them. So and once they notice there are fish inside the pond, so and the pond is uncovered, they will be coming every time to pick all those fish. And once they are picking it one by one, there is not how you want to do. You cannot get accurate number of the fish you stock in the pond. So you should take note of that, and that there is all these alligator that might just crawl into your pond. Every day they will be eating and eating and eating and eating your fish. So that will make you lose some of them. So you should take note of that as well. So you cover your pond, so you maintain it, you clean all the surroundings, so you maintain it. So you cover it with nets. So it might be its side, it will be side, or you cover the top. So that is just how to go about it. Even these toads, once toads enter into your pond and the fish size are very small, they will start eating them. So that is the reason why you have to cover your pond if you want to raise. So another number 4 part of it is you avoid overstocking. So you avoid overstocking. Why should you avoid overstocking? So we have different pond sizes. You might have a size of pond that might be 20 by 20, 20 by 30, or 30 by 30, something like that. You might get even 15 by 20. So and a 15 by 20 or 20 by 20 pond, and you went ahead and stock like 50 or 30,000 pieces of your fingerlings, juvenile, or post-fingerlings, and you stock them inside, the space will be choking them. Once they started growing, once they started developing, so the space will be choking them before you transfer them. So the space will be choking them. So that is why I said you should avoid overstocking. So the number 5 part of it is you stock uniform fish. So you stock fish that are uniform. If your fish are not uniform, they are carnivorous animals, so they can cannibalize each other. So once they are hungry, they will started doing what? They will started eating each other. The bigger one they will be swallowing the small one just to feed their belly. So the smaller one will turn to a prey for them. So they will be cannibalizing them. So the number 6 part of it is don't starve them. So once you don't starve them, there won't be chances for the bigger ones sometimes not to pick the little ones. So if you don't starve them, the bigger one won't have the chance. If they are eating time to time, but you don't overfeed, you feed them accurately and you feed them with the normal rates that they should eat. So if you notice you give them feed for the first day and there are some feed left on the surface of that water, you reduce the rate at which you feed them the next time you want to feed them. So that is just how to go about it. And the following day, if they eat more than you gave them yesterday, you can still increase the feed. So the feed the measurement, you can still increase it. So that is just the way to go about it. So you don't starve them so that they don't start chasing and eating each other in the pond. So the number 4 part of it, the number 7 rather part of it is, if you want to give them intestine, I don't really advise this, but if you feel like giving your juvenile or the ones that are turning into jumbo, if you want to give them your intestine, be it chicken intestine or fish intestine, anywhere you get it, so make sure you don't do it regularly, so it will affect them, really affects them. So this intestine of it changes water's color a lot. It will make the water to become black, which will be unbearable for your small fish, because they don't have strong immune already. So they will surely, most of them will die. So that is how to get about it. And the reason why I said you shouldn't give them regularly is that intestine takes like 2 to 3 days inside them before it gets decayed. So, and if you keep on feeding, if they eat today and you feed them tomorrow and you feed them next tomorrow, it will likely affect them. So avoid that as well. And then number 8 is do not stock below 3 feet down level of water. So do not stock below 3 feet or above 3 feet. You don't stock below 3 feet, and you don't stock above 3 feet. Why? Because your small fish, they are very small, and they don't have the capacity, they don't have the ability to swim in a very deep water. So they don't have the ability to swim in a very wide water. So that is why most people decide to raise them in a nursery pond. What are nursery ponds? Nursery ponds are small ponds. They are small earthen ponds or concrete ponds, the smaller ones. I'm not saying something just small, but all this 30 by 30, 20 by 20, 15 by 20, or 15 by 15, they are your nursery ponds. So, and the depth is usually 3 feet. At least if it is deep, it's usually 3 feet or 2.5 feet for your for any pond you want to use, for your nursery pond, if you want to use them to raise your fish. So that should be the water level for your fish if you want to stock them. 3 feet, not above 3 and not below 2. If it is above 3, they won't have the ability to swim well inside the. We know, even if you put some children, when it comes to human being, if you put them on things that are above them, they will be scared. They won't be able to do it perfectly. So because they don't have the power to do it at that very level. But if you place them at their own level, what will happen? They will do it and they will be successful in it because they have the ability and they have the capacity to do that at their very level. So that is how it is to fish. So if you put them in a water that is above 3 feet, that will likely affect them. They won't be able to swim well. And if the water is below 3 feet, the reason is when the climate become hot, it will be a problem to them. So some will be dying. So the climate will be affecting them. And if the weather get cold and everything is cold, why your fish won't come up to eat. So you get, so if it is very shallow, your fish won't be able to come up to it because the weather will affect them very well. But if the distance is deep, at least if the top is cold, the ground might still be a bit warm, something like that for them. So that is another point of it. Is you do not take water in when you are raising, where you are raising your fish. Anywhere you are raising the fish, your catfish, you do not take water in. Inlet. So don't let water go into your pond because you don't know what is flowing with the water. So there is no 100% assurance for you that you are taking in good water. So you can't take water into your pond, into the pond that you are raising your catfish. So it is not advisable. So if you take water in, there might be a disease or any other thing that might cause that might affect your fish. So if you mistakenly take the water in, so don't take water in. So and another thing is, don't raise your fish close to where there is erosion. So where there will be floods to take your fish, to wash your fish. So don't ever raise your fish close to that place. So once you are there to all these things, you are going to raise your fish successfully without having mortality. Even you are going to get just little mortality, if at all you should get. So if you maintain all these things, you will get just little mortality and you will raise your fish successfully and you get a very good result. So when you do all these things, so all this is all I want you to know about raising fish and why your fish die, why raising. So if you listen to all this to this video and you watch it to the very end, I believe you are going to learn one or few things out of it. So you stay on Addota Farm, keep on watching Addota video, and we will cook the best that we have for you. And I believe you are going to have a very good meal once you keep on watching Addota video. So thanks for watching. You're welcome.